Trust Profits formula here to give you a preview of the Risen Star. I'm going to give you full field breakdown as we know today, the 15th of February, before we do tip sheet options. So, as you know, we have tip sheets that we are selling over YouTube. Mentioned this before, they have expanded. Before we were giving you just the first few columns there, but we've expanded it out to show a number of different metrics that we put together: closing power, pace advantage, class dropping numbers that we have rated on each of the horses in each of the races. This is a snippet of one of the races that we have recently handicapped. These are available, comes out to about $2 per tip sheet, depending on which package you go for. Flightline gives you a full week of tip sheets, which usually amounts to anywhere between 3 and 5 slates. You get the Saturday races through Rich Strike. That's $8 a month, all through YouTube. So just want to throw that option out there. To find those, just hit the little join button like we show you right there. Anyway, on with the race, the Risen Star. I've got a pretty big field here, 14 horses to cover, so I'm going to go through this quickly. It's going to be Saturday, February 18th at Fairgrounds to G2, 9 furlongs. So we're testing at a pretty decent length here for these horses on dirt, as you would expect, in preparation for the Kentucky Derby. Let's start at the beginning. Quiet as Midnight. First thing I want to mention, this is a Delta Downs horse. Broke his maiden at Delta Downs in December, going 7 furlongs and winning by a nose. Followed that up in January with a second place, 7 furlong allowance race, losing by 2 lengths in that race. Started charging, closing from 4 back, but lost momentum down the stretch. Opening, I believe, at 50 to 1, 30 to 1. Not sure what this horse is doing here. This is the first easy scratch of the day. First insta toss, Quiet as Midnight out the door. Single ruler. Broke his maiden on the 5th try at Fairgrounds, going 8.5 furlongs in a 65K maiden race, winning by 2 3/4 lengths, as you see here in the picture I provided for you. Previous to that, did struggle to break his maiden due to traffic issues, starting off a little too close to the pace. But definitely after 5 races seemed to hit his stride. Is he ready for the Risen Star, though? Getting the 2-hole spot for single ruler, that's nice. I'm just not sure what the competition we have here. 14 horses and some pretty significant ones at single ruler is probably another toss. SHAQ Diesel, gotta love the name. Shout out to LSU alums. 3 wins and 7 races. This is a Florida horse here, so a lot of Tampa Bay and Gulf Stream. Recently, though, a 28K starter optional claiming race at Tampa Bay Downs, winning by a neck, going 1.40 miles. That was the first time he went above 7 furlongs. Before that, 3rd place in the Pasco Stakes to Zydeco, a 7 furlong race. Lost by 9 lengths there. Zydeco's we just saw set the pace at Sam Davis. Stepping up in class for sure for SHAQ Diesel. Again, 1 through 3, first 3 are tosses for me. Determinedly, fun to say. Most recently won an 8.5 furlong race by a neck over TAPIT'S Conquest and Silver Heist, both in this race, as I will tell you. And they're also all 3 pictured here. You can see determinedly the 5 horse there getting the nose out. 3rd in the Gun Runner Stakes, 5.5 lengths behind Jace's Road, also going 8.5 furlongs. So this is a horse that stretched out for a 9 furlong race, broke his maiden after 6 tries, winning in significant form, 7.25 lengths over Shopper's Revenge in a 13 horse field, 120K 7 furlong race. Mark Casse horse determinedly up for consideration. HARLOCAP. Steve Asmussen horse, 1 win, 2 second places. Shipping from Santa Anita, recently transferred from Baffert to Asmussen. So that's kind of interesting, going from one high-level trainer to another. Last race out, broke his maiden, 8.5 furlongs, going wire to wire, winning by 4.5 lengths in Santa Anita, I believe. Johnny Velasquez previously on the mount here for HARLOCAP. Steve Asmussen, now the trainer. Very curious to see what happens here, especially with this horse not being in California, but definitely seems like a talent. Angel of Empire. Brad Cox, first of a few Brad Cox horses. Angel of Empire, 2 wins and 4 tries. Came 2nd at the Smarty Jones, going a mile, finishing 3 lengths behind Victory Formation, who we're going to talk about later. 36K 1 mile allowance race. Previous to that, finishing 6.25 ahead of McMoney. Shifted to dirt from previous race at Kentucky Downs. So this is a horse that has done a mix of turf and dirt. Interesting here. Brad Cox, Luis Saez, always a winning combination. Angel of Empire. Sun Thunder. So Southwest Stakes, this is a horse that I was definitely interested to see from a closer's perspective. It seemed like this is a horse that struggled to really find his way to the finish line from a closer's position, got trapped back, did make up ground a number of times, including at the Southwest Stakes, but never really got up into that top three. Managed to find his way up to fourth place, 9 1/4 furlongs behind Arabian Night in the Southwest Stakes. So again, he made his way up, maybe made the call a little bit too late. The Ken McPeak horse didn't get up there in time to make a full difference. Interesting to follow these closers though. Broke his maiden in December, a 90K maiden race in Oaklawn, a mile field of 12, winning by 6.5 lengths. So previous to that, right, or what we saw last time, Southwest Stakes, interesting horse here. Going to keep my eye on Sun Thunder, but this is a wider field and a possibly more talented one. Tapit's Conquest. Shout out to Colin Sheehan, by the way. Tapit's Conquest, 1 win, 2 second places in 3 races last time out. Came in second by a neck versus Determinedly, going 8.5 furlongs. Broke his maiden in October at Churchill Downs by 3.5 lengths. In a 10-horse field, beating out Dennington, which was in sixth place, a horse that's also been on the Derby Trail. Previous to that was beaten in Saratoga by Powerful by half a length. So, I mean, even in some of these races where this horse is coming in second place, Tapit's Conquest is right there in the conversation, losing by a neck, by a nose, by a head. Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, another winning combination here, Tapit's Conquest. But we're not done with the Brad Cox horses yet, are we? Curly Jack. We're not done with the Brad Cox horses. The last one's coming later. 2 wins, 2 places in 6 lifetime races. Been doing a lot of graded stakes races lately. Curly Jack. Last time we saw Curly Jack was November. Churchill Downs came in second place in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, going 8.5 furlongs. It's a G2 race. It was 1 1/4 lengths off of Instant Coffee. For that, the BC Juvenile was part of that third pack back, 12 lengths behind Forte and Cave Rock. So not a truly impressive showing there. Merely the only impressive showing there was from Forte and Cave Rock. Winner of the Iroquois, a G3, beating Honed by 1 length, and then Jace's Road, HEIST Strike, Confidence Game, all horses we've seen on the Derby Trail already. This is a closer that has raced in several graded stakes races. Curious to see how he handles the distance. Also curious to see how he handles traffic, because if we're going to compare this race to any other race, I mean, you can compare it to the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, but also the BC Juvenile in terms of the number of horses that are entered. There could be some traffic issues for any closer like Curly Jack. 2 fills. So we saw his 2 fills recently at LeCompte, 2.5 lengths back from Instant Coffee. Impressive work for 2 fills. We like 2 fills. 3 wins in 6 races. Street Sense, he had a 5 1/4 length win at 8.5 furlongs over HEIST Strike and Jace's Road. An impressive win for 2 fills there, I might add. Had a 9+ length win in a 6 furlong race, the SHAQ Stakes before the Claiborne. I mean, we talked about 2 fills before. Definitely one that we're tracking. And we've got so many horses we're tracking in this race. Like I said, this one is talent deep. 2 fills also up for consideration here. Silver Heist. So we're spotlighting Silver Heist there in that 3-horse blob that we saw in the recent allowance optional claiming race. Just beaten by Determinedly and Tapit's Conquest. Before that, broke his maiden in a 6 furlong race. Definitely looks like he's stretching out nicely here. Can he take it to 9 furlongs? Third race out. Silver Heist, like what we've seen from the Asmussen horse so far. Is he ready for this race? Is he ready for this level of competition? We'll see. CRUPI. Very interesting horse here. 2 wins, 3 third places. Has yet to win. Has yet to place out of the money. Last out, ran a hell of a race, going neck and neck with Slip Mahoney, losing by a head in that one. Previous to that, 2.5 lengths behind Classic Catch in a 9 furlong maiden special weight race at Aqueduct. Closed out from sixth position rather on American Hustle, but Classic Catch closed a little bit harder than he did. Todd Pletcher horse is still waiting to break his maiden. Is he going to do it here? That's a tall order to ask with this field. Here we go. Brad Cox, Flavian Pratt, victory formation. 3 wins in 3 tries. So far, only wins. Has yet to race in a grade stakes race, so hasn't been challenged as much as some of these other horses have. He did win the Smarty Jones, going a mile, 3 lengths over Angel of Empire, winning wire to wire. For that, won a 6 furlong race in AOC, 127K race, racing neck and neck with 2 Eagles, barely closing out in the final stretch there. Um, is distance going to be a factor for victory formation? 3 wins. I mean, you like to see, it's a cliche. I like to see horses that just win, right? But we're going up to 9 furlongs here from 8 furlongs. Could be a little bit of a jump. Hasn't raced in class. I mean, when you talk about horses that just win, what level are they winning at? What's their competition? How big of the field? There's a lot of things in horse racing to consider here. So there's still some question marks around victory formation. So we can't just call him the flat out winner yet. We're almost at the end. Bear with me. Private Creed. 3 wins in 6 races, 1 second place, 2/3. Has yet to finish outside the money. But this is a horse that's moving to dirt from turf, mainly a sprinter. Um, he's got a lot going against it, even though he's got that great record. Last time out, 2nd place finish at Sam Houston, winning the Bob Bork Texas Turf Mile Stakes after being chased down by, and the winner is, ironically named, 3rd place finish at the BC Juvenile Turf Sprint, a G1. So, I mean, this is a horse that's battle tested in some pretty high level races. Steve Asmussen, Tyler Gaffleone. But again, a sprinter and a turf sprinter at that, shifting to dirt. So there's some question marks around Private Creed. Jimmy Creed, does he have the lineage for this? We'll see. We'll see. So what's my angle here? Yeah, I mean, there's question marks around victory formation, but I want myself a winner. So that's my safe bet here. And at 3-1, that is definitely a safe bet. If I like value, there's a lot of value out there. There's a lot of 8-1s. There's a 6-1 out there, but just a ton of 8-1s. The one I like the best is Curly Jack. So if you're going to play a value play, who knows what's going to happen when the public gets a hold of this, but 8-1 on Curly Jack, if that's the play, that's a pretty good play in my opinion. If you're going to talk about a key box, trifecta, exacta, I would start with victory formation as the key. Curly Jack, TAPIT'S Conquest, you got to add him in there. 6-1, TAPIT'S Conquest. May not ever see that again. We'll see. And then HARLOCAP. He's a little bit of the wild card. I could see HARLOCAP. I could see that 8-1 going up on HARLOCAP, hoping to get some value there. And I think that could be a horse that would be in the mix by the end of this. So please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the join button. Take a look at what we have to offer here. And as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. And we hope to see you again for some more videos. Peace out.